Welcome inside. It's the IIJL World Juniors. Cody Jansen, Steven Stamp, Ryan Flaherty with you as we get set for game number 4 of the week. Scotland taking on Israel. We've seen Scotland play. We know where their offense is going to come from. It's Nolan Eastwood. He had 6 goals yesterday. But, Steven, what are you looking forward to with seeing Israel in their first game of the weekend?
You know, we saw a lot of players for Australia who were playing their first box games. A similar story for Israel, a lot of guys in their first box games. So there's going to be, again, a steep learning curve. Easton Burns is pretty dynamic. We'll see what he can do.
Well, let's head down to the third member of our broadcast team. It's Ryan Flaherty standing by between the benches.
Yeah, and I'm speaking with both coaches before this game. You know, Scotland, they've got their feet wet here last night, but they said, you know, from their vantage point, that USA team they faced might be the fittest here in the tournament. So they're looking for a better start tonight and hopefully a full 60-minute effort to close it out all the way down the line. Now, Israel, they didn't play yesterday, and their coaching staff said they like that because their guys, a lot of their guys have played a lot recently, so the extra day of rest was helpful. We'll see if it benefits them here tonight.
Well, Israel does have that extra practice day as well. I know they got a lot of new faces in the lineup from previous tournament efforts. And for Scotland, well, they're going to be looking a little bit different as well because the man between the pipes has changed. Eric LeBlanc got the start on night number 1. It wasn't like he was bad. He stopped 39 out of 47, but now you change it up and Ethan Dalkeith gets the call. He stopped 5 of 6 in his brief appearance. That's good for an 833 save percentage. Step, you've seen him as well. This is a kid who can play, and he's going to have a tough task against Israel.
Yeah, you know, Israel always comes with lots of talent, lots of athleticism. You mentioned how athletic and how fast the U.S. team was. I think Israel is going to challenge that, and they love to run. They love to play a physical game, so we'll see how it plays out in terms of them getting into the game, as we said, having the day off and coming in and just playing their first game tonight.
Mark Rittberger is between the pipes for Israel. The 03-born netminder will be the one to carry water here as Israel's tournament. Well, they've got high expectations. And talking with head coach Stu Sturparn, who you see on the right of your screen there, he said, we feel we're contenders this year. We didn't have this feeling last year. They're feeling good about their lineup, and it's a battle of two blues as Scotland, Israel, game number 4. About to get underway. Haverly will take the draw for Israel and Morgan Curry for Scotland. Ref is now ready. Ball is down and we are underway. It's quarter number 1 at the IIJL World Juniors. Israel opening possession. Cody Jansen, Steven Stamp, Ryan Flaherty with you, and an over and back call early.
So Scotland will get the first possession, and again, keep your eyes on Nolan Eastwood, number 91, over on the right side, but they're not going to get a chance now with that over-zesty pick from Bamford.
Yeah, Bamford a little too hot coming in and setting the pick on Reish, and now Israel's going back the other way. Reish now drives around his defender, far side, it's off the crossbar. Inches away from Israel taking the lead.
Nice little floater from Reish, who is the captain this year, returning player, one of a few Israel players returning from last year in Winnipeg, and look for a lot of leadership from him.
Scotland possession, they'll get set up here. Milne with the ball. Milne had a goal and an assist yesterday. They lost against the Americans. Here's Nolan Eastwood now, little flip inside, and what a hit! Lowering the boom is Dick Turrell. Scotland still with possession. Fadeaway shot. This one's going to go wide and bounce into the corner.
Ethan Dick Turrell setting the physical tone. We said they want to play physical, and there it is. No hesitation to get things going on the physical front.
Israel now. Jackson Baker's in the corner. He's stripped of the ball. Vodchuk's in there as well. Defender on him like a backpack. In Scotland, if they're going to play a physical game, that's their opportunity to catch Israel off guard here, as they're still trying to fight off some jitters early. In transition, Rittberger's going to make the save and look for the outlet pass.
And Zane Fletcher was begging for the ball on the far side. He was open on the back side, but I guess they thought the shot from the top was a bit better option. But Fletcher, you knew he wanted that the way he was, the stick was just shaking.
Hawkins Steen now. We're in 7 and blue. Slings it up top. Got his own pass right back. Shot got soaked by the defender. And here goes Fuster. Scored a couple yesterday for Scotland as well. He'll hit the brakes and wait for some support. Throws a bouncer into traffic, and Steen's going to grab it in the D zone. Reish now runs into Fuster. Hit the crossbar earlier. This time Dalkeith makes a save and he runs into the Scottish netminder.
And Ashton Reish a little says a word, as you see on this app. Here's the first hit by Dick Turl. That is huge. Nice and level, straight on, nothing dirty about it, just exploding through the player. And Reish with a couple chances already.
Cochran hands that one off. It's going to bounce in, and Ripberger will sit on it in the crease. Bundy now near side has help on the way as some forwards will jump out on the floor. Justice Cutler, pardon me. It's Reedy inside. Baker with the shot, and he scores. Jackson Baker draws first blood. It's 1-0 Israel.
It's just a quick play, kind of arising out of not too much. You can see that Reedy's just taking his time, and then at the last moment, and nobody there to pick up Jackson Baker, and he makes them pay for that lapse on the defensive end.
Jackson Baker, one of the shooters on the club. You get a look at him there on the bench, and the Israel coaches saying, hey, settle down. A lot of game left, not even 3 minutes in. Bundy grab an assist on the Baker marker, and Scotland looking for an answer now. Shots 2-2. We've played 3 minutes of regulation time. Mill near side. Help comes on the floor. Grady Holmes now trying to push his defender back. He ends up going over to the restraining line. McAndrew inside. Bounce shot goes high by Fuster, and then Holmes got dumped. Ball ends up going on the turf for a second, and the shot clock's going to expire.
With Scotland going back to deal, it'll be interesting to see, because yesterday they had that slow start against the U.S., got down 9-2. They don't want to have that kind of lapse and get into a hole again, because they did a great job later. You don't want to start with the hole.
Rogalski for Steen, one-hand pass. A little lackadaisical picked off by McCulloch. Now Trainer McCulloch, and they're going to be giving Israel possession here. They call in too many men on the floor. I believe that's what it is. And so it will be a penalty, in Scotland going to be shorthanded for the first time in this contest. Israel up 1-0, go to the power play.
I think it was actually a pair of calls, because there was the one violation called that was just a possession, but then the other official on the near side, obviously left by center, had the illegal substitution call.
Scotland on the power play, no surprise. Jackson Baker, a quarterback it up top. He's got Josh Fonchuk on his right. Fonchuk steps into one, and Dalkeith gets it with the shoulder. Ball pops back for Benjamin Reedy. Now Fonchuk's up top. Little behind the back, flip over to Baker, and he scores. Doubling up, Jackson Baker has his second of the game.
A little pose down after the shot, well earned, because that is an absolute rocket. Nice little behind the back flip, gets the pass relatively low, so just elects to go low to low. Shoot it from about knee high with just a whole lot behind it. And Israel, we wondered how they'd come out off the start, having not played yet. I thought Scotland might have the edge, having played a game, but Israel are the fast ones coming out of the gate.
Another opportunity as Haverly is followed by Fuster behind the Scotland cage. Well, if you're Scotland, you know you got to see to the sin bin in this one. Here's Josh Fonchuk, little flip inside. Quick stick goes off the crossbar as Eric Tompkins got free. Fuster, big minutes he'll play. A little backdoor feeds over the head of McNeil. This is going to bounce all the way back to Mark Ripberger in the Israel crease. Stretch pass, way out of reach for any of the Israel forwards, and it's going to bounce back, though, and Easton Burns gets a freebie. Burns up top. Steen, it's over his head. Over and back will be called, and Nolan Eastwood settles it down. 6 goals, a sock trick yesterday against USA for Eastwood. Inside look, and Ripberger makes a save as Caleb McAndrew was driving the net.
Ripberger looking very comfortable. We saw a great performance by Koza last game, but that was it's a nice start to the game for Ripberger.
Fonchuk with Baker, the two lefties. I'll scan the floor here. It's back up to Baker. He's on hat-trick watch. The only goal scorer in the game. Fodchuk near side. Good save by Dalkeith as Fodchuk tries to pick that near top shelf. Well, let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team. Ryan Flaherty is between the benches.
Yeah, just real quickly there after that goal by Jackson Baker, as he went past the Scotland bench, he had a little something to say to them. But as he went to his own bench, one of his teammates said, "Hey, cut that out. We don't want to rile them up anymore."
Yeah, Baker will do that. He's got some confidence as Grady Holmes cuts towards the cage and Mark Ripberger stops him. Back the other way. Ashton Reich driving, and he was stripped of the ball at the last second as McCulloch got his stick in the way.
Reich definitely thinking go to the net every chance he gets. That one with the 1-on-3 probably should have pulled that one out and just tried to get the offense set up. I like the first 2 tries.
Zach Milne for Eastwood. He's got an outside shot if he wants. Decides not to take it. Up top, another low to low as Caleb McAndrew shot at Ripberger, had no clue where it was. And now it's going to be a battle behind the net, won by Ethan Dicterrell. Israel, slow the pace down. Wait for some help. Hockenstein is left side. Benjamin Reedy with him. Steen's got a one-on-one, and he runs into a double team up top. Reedy trying to poke that one by, but Dalkeith was in good positioning to make the save.
Interesting idea on that pass, a little underhand, trying to shovel it through. That's a lot of traffic, though, for a guy on top of the crease to be trying to make that catch.
Not a typical pass you'd make on a double team or triple team. McCarron's out in front. Pass ends up behind him, and in the corner, Keegan Cochran can't track it down. Israel, they're not against pushing the pace. That's been made very clear. Corbin Wiley now drops it for Kirsch. Steen to Baker above the restraining line. 12 to shoot. Baker, shot goes off the defender. No reset though. 5 on the ticker. That one's going to go off of a defender and also go wide. Scotland, couple of shot blocks here on the shift, and they're going to remain down by 2. Grady Holmes is up top with the ball. Holmes had a goal and 3 assists yesterday in Scotland's opening game. Bouncer by Bamford misses the target. Zane Fletcher on the rebound, and Ripberger got it with the left arm. Wildly threw it up in the air, and it hit his elbow.
Looked like he spun the hand around, which you do not want to do as a goalie and get that palm exposed.
Justice Cutler over to Fodchuk, and on the rebound, Burns couldn't connect either. Good play there by Justice Cutler to have the heads-up awareness to be pushing that ball up the floor. Fodchuk just unable to finish as Fooster now pushed back on the Rush logo. Little one-on-one. Milne wants to drive, and it's a train collision in the slot.
Yeah, very quickly became a 1-on-3.
Now McCarron stripped of the ball by Eastwood. Scotland still looking for their first of the game, and Ripberger denies him of that. Loose ball is going to get scooped up, and here goes Rogalski on a break. Jarrett Rogalski scores! 3-0. Israel leads. Rogalski's got his first of the tournament.
Love the Rogalski play. The heads up to take off with speed. As soon as that ball was loose, you can see he's gone. It was pretty close from it, and then has time to get himself across into a shooting position because he's on his offside. But he moves over far enough that he can draw the goaltender Dalkeith with him a little bit, which created that opening on the post.
Big finish there by Rogalski, and now Israel wants to build on it. Haverly up top had Dicterrell. They'll go off for change as Fodchuk runs it into the corner. Defended by Fletcher. Those two well acquainted. Hockenstein now. Defender on an island. Steen spins back to the middle. Now he's got a lane, and Dalkeith with that right pad makes a good save with a little sidestep. Ball's going to be scooped up, and Nolan Eastwood's going to have a break on the run. Nolan Eastwood rips it off the post.
Good decision to get that shot off early with Ariel Soler-Camille coming after him hard.
Nolan Eastwood was that close to his 7th of the tournament already. Crazy we're talking about that in quarter number 1 of Scotland's second game. Reach down for Fodchuk. Burns is there on the 2-man game, and Fodchuk rips that off the post. Fooster up the floor with Milton. Almost looked like he rolled his ankle on the turf. Now he got knocked down by Cutler. And the big man who just finished his first year of junior lacrosse, Justice Cutler, is throwing around bodies in the D zone. Holmes finds McAndrew inside. Holmes is there. That goes wide, and the rebound gets overrun. Corbin Wiley, a one-on-one. End of his shift, so he'll wait for some help and drop it off and head for a change. Eric Tompkins now, the big righty, got it right back from Steen. Up top, Burns won't fire. Burns now, back for Reedy. Little spin move by Steen inside lane. Israel got a chance on there as Benjamin Reedy, and then he got piled from behind into the crease. Scotland go to their second power play of the game as you get another look at the Nolan Eastwood post that he hit on the breakaway.
And Reedy just being really resilient with the Scots getting all over him, eventually drawing the penalty and sending Israel back to the man advantage to just fight through that double or triple team and keep the stick up protected and get a shot off.
There you get another look at it. Easy cross check in the back. Call is made. Hall goes to the sin bin. Scotland power play 1-for-1. Jackson Baker's up top. Reedy on his left. Fodchuk on his right. Baker stepped down into one. He had Dalkeith going the wrong way, but he hit him in the friendly shoulder. Fodchuk again. Up for Baker. Down low. Quick stick opportunity, and Burns is stopped. Reedy. Baker. Down low. Then puts it right in the logo is Kush.
Great chance for Kush, one of the alternate captains for Israel, but nothing comes of it.
Murdoch happy to eat some clock. He's got Big Bamford out back behind him as well. Murdoch ends up behind the net. Now the double team's going to swarm on him and try and force a turnover. Down shot ends up in the corner, and now we'll get a little bit of a delay here. A penalty is coming, and I believe Justice Cutler is getting escorted to the sin bin.
Yeah, so the first opportunity for Scotland with the roughing call on Cutler for the Scots to get to the man advantage.
So it'll be 4-on-4 for the next 62 seconds as it was behind the play, I believe, where Justice Cutler might have got a little overzealous. You see, he got his stick up a little high.
Under the chin right at the last moment. Just didn't back off quite enough.
4-on-4. Jack Bamford now trying to spin off some defenders. One arm on his stick. Won't be able to get a pass. Tried to kick that one back for Zach Milne. Now Israel wants to run. 3-on-3. Fodchuk's the trailer. Josh Fodchuk now on the roll. Stopped by Dalkeith.
Fodchuk was loading up as that pass was on its way to him. He knew there was room as trainer McCulloch didn't get up on top of him. And it's a pretty good shot on the run.
He can shoot on the run. He's got a little bit of Clark Walter in his game. Milne zips this one over, low on Ripberger, and it won't roll behind him. Hawkins-Steen now, as Israel's got number. Steen, little backdoor feed, and inside it ends up behind the net. Soler-Camille thought he might try quick stick that one. He kind of held on to it for a second, and that allowed Dalkeith to get over there, and you see the little hesitation is why he probably didn't have the angle or the net he wanted to shoot at. Steen. Little slide down low, and Stu Sturpard wants him to use it, but Steen, short-handed, rips one off the post. Sturpard wanted them to kill the rest of the clock as Israel short-handed for the next 40 seconds. Grady Holmes up top. Scotland held off the goal column so far in the opening 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Bamford's up top on this power play. Eastwood's in the corner. Bamford for Fletcher. Off his stick, and now Eastwood's going to win a loose ball battle. Backdoor zips one over, and Caleb McAndrew strikes out on the quick stick.
Just 17 left on the power play, so Israel will be able to kill this and be rejoined by Cutler. Imagine we'll go to the bench, get the other forward out.
You wonder if Thomas Moffat changes up that power play a little bit and puts Eastwood up top. We saw him score 6 yesterday. And I think he's got one shot on goal all game, and it went off the post.
And it was on a break. It wasn't from the set offense.
Ball got dropped by Tompkins in the corner, and Scotland's going to recover here. 42 seconds to go. Quarter number 1 from SaskTel Center in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. Milne up top. He's got McAndrew. Back for Zach Milne. Does it on the shot clock. Milne over to Fletcher, cutting inside, and he tried the crease dive. Couldn't tuck it home.
That's the case with a little check on the back. Actually helped him get a little momentum to the net.
Israel with a little bit of speed. Cutting inside and scoring. Matthew Bundy runs it in from Regina, and it's 4-0 Israel.
Draws the penalty, but that'll be wiped out. That's a beautiful play. Look at the effort here by Bundy going coast to coast. There's the stop at one end. And he sees his teammate on the far side. Actually looks like even to the last moment he was thinking maybe pass, but as he cut across and saw the opening, it was just too tempting. And that's a beautiful finish as he goes to the turf.
The ability to be able to hold on for that extra second, know you're going to get clobbered, and wait for Dalkeith to throw his stick over to the left and finish 5-hole. That takes some talent, as now there's 5 seconds on the clock, and Israel throws one away. They couldn't get the goalie out anyways, so the clock's going to expire on quarter number 1 here from Co-op Field in SaskTel Center. Israel off to a hot start in the 2023 tournament. 4-0. They lead Scotland. It's a physical affair, and we're back with second quarter action next. Adrenaline Lacrosse is an official supplier of the Canadian Lacrosse League. Visit adrln.ca for more. Time to head down to the floor. Ryan Flaherty is standing by with Israel head coach Stu Sturpart.
Yeah, Stu, first quarter down and you're up 4-0. What did you like, I guess, about that first quarter for your team?
I think our transition was good. We pushed the ball really quick and tried to get it up the floor as fast as we can. I mean, that's what we're kind of looking for, and the boys executed nicely, so it's a good start for us.
I know you want to play with a lot of pace here, so how much beneficial was the extra day to prepare and be fresh to come into this one?
Yeah, it was a nice rest for our boys. A lot of them have played a lot of lacrosse this year, so to get them a little extra day to sleep in and sleep in their own beds for a day and then get out here. We arrived a little bit later than we'd like, but I mean, the boys look ready to go, so it seems like it worked.
Great. Thanks for this, Coach.
Appreciate it, Ryan. Thanks.
Guys?
Stu Sturpart, obviously busy. The 2023 IIJL World Juniors also brought to you by Tech Savvy. Thanks to Tech Savvy for all their support to the tournament this week. Stu Sturpart, a busy man, coaching multiple teams, always involved in the lacrosse world. Doesn't matter where in the world it is, Stu is likely to be found around there. And he's got his Israel team prepared. He told me from the start, I feel good about our team this year. Well, they're coming out against the Scotland team who we thought sharpened their pencils yesterday. Not so much anymore.
And you never know. You can feel good about it. They like their practices. They like their shoot around. But again, until you get out on the floor, you just don't know how it'll click. But they did have a training camp. They felt pretty sharp and ready to go, and this has been warranted with what we've seen so far.
Well, Scotland's making a goalie change here. Eric LeBlanc is going to come between the pipes. Ethan Dalkeith sees his night come to a close after stopping 11 out of 15. LeBlanc has an .830 save percentage in this tournament, stopped 39 out of 47 against USA. Back underway, Israel opening possession here as Haverly slows things down. Josh Vodchuk, Jackson Baker, and company have been dominant so far. The defense has been pretty dang good, too. Here's Josh Vodchuk now. Little swim move inside, and he scores. Oh, that's a highlight reel montage. Josh Vodchuk, little toe drag, top shelf tuck, and it's 5-0 Israel.
What was prettier, the move or the shot? That is a gorgeous one-hand toe drag. And then you can see from this angle the fake, the little shoulder lean that got the brand new goaltender for the evening heading off to the far side. Just opened up about a ball's width of space, and that is beautiful from Vodchuk. And, man, that is a heck of a play.
Welcome to the game, Eric LeBlanc. Talk about hung out to dry. As Josh Vodchuk, a little turn and burn. How are ya? It's 5-0 for Israel. Now it should be an over and back, and it'll be Scotland ball, and that's going to get called delay of game. The way it's been called this tournament, it makes sense, and Ethan Dicterl is going to head off for 2 or less.
And I'm not sure what he's explaining. I think he's trying to say, I didn't mean to, or got stuck and rolled out. And the response to that is not our issue. There's going to be a little bit of leeway, but you just can't roll the ball away. It's going to be delay of game. You've got to really think about putting it down and placing the ball in position. If you let it escape from you, this is what you face the chance of happening.
Scotland power play goes to work. Jack Bamford is up top. Eastwood has Fletcher as the two righties on the floor. Fletcher now steps into one, and it hits that post. Multiple times now they've gone low glove and hit the post, and back the other way comes Israel. Rogalski looking for his second, and he's stopped by LeBlanc.
Boy, LeBlanc talking about being thrown to the fire with the Vodchuk chance, and then that breakaway. Wow.
Yeah, warm-ups was about half an hour to 45 minutes ago, and now LeBlanc is getting welcomed back in a rude way.
With 2 shots tougher than anything you would have seen in the warm-up.
Bamford back to Eastwood, wanted the quick stick pass, was a little behind him. And now a nice little jackpot hook falls in the stick of Rogalski. Has Cutler up the floor with him. Rogalski to the middle, low to low got blocked. Cutler's inside, and LeBlanc got it with the right pad. Reedy now, 1-on-2. He'll run himself to freedom. 50 seconds left in the kill.
They've only got 2 players on the floor, Israel. He was 1-on-5 for a bit.
Well, now Jackson Baker comes out as the 4th. Reedy still has it. Baker's the lefty. Drives in, trying to go 5-hole, and LeBlanc makes the save. Doesn't give up a rebound either.
And Scotland getting out-chanced here on their power play.
Nolan Eastwood, 7 points in the tournament in his debut against USA. Bamford's back up top. They're sticking to their guns, and now we've got a play drawn up here. Bamford cuts in and scores. Well, when you drop a play, you don't always expect it to work. That one to a T, and Bamford's got Scotland on the board.
It's like a draw play as they run the scissor pick, and he just hangs on there for a moment and then steps through. Look at how much space opens up for Bamford. And that is a great shot from the big man, and he is pointing to the guys who opened up that room for him. You always appreciate those picks that work that well.
Well, they've beat Ripberger low to the glove side there a couple of times now. They've just hit post on 2. This time Bamford puts it in the back of the net, and it's 5-1 as Scotland's got a power play marker. Corbin Wiley can't get possession off that draw, and it'll be Scotland who gets the initial one. Murdoch, the hit stick, and he spins underneath the double team. Then he got run over, never had the ball, and I think that's going to be a penalty, not just a loose ball push. And I believe that's going to be Ethan Dicterl going back to the sin bin. Scotland going to another power play.
And he's looking for an explanation here as well, and it's not going to be any more satisfying to him than the previous one. You can see, as you said, just running over Angus Murdoch. Are there two of them going? Yeah, Solar Camille going as well.
Perfect opportunity for Scotland to climb their way back in this game here. 12-14 left to go, quarter number 2. So slash is the one and hold is the other. Let's go down between the benches. Ryan Flaherty standing by.
Yeah, I just want to say the celebration for the Bamford goal was pretty big on the Scottish bench, but I think they were even louder for that little hit stick by Murdoch in the middle. They loved the way he stood up that player who tried to come in and knock him down. And I think Scotland just getting a little more engaged now with some of that physical play.
5-on-3. Holmes has it. Wild behind the back flip is behind McAndrew. McAndrew now low to low and he scores. Bouncer, top shelf, hits 5-2.
Those skippers from outside, the bounce that gets up high, always so tricky is the instinct for the goalie to go low. And you can see Ripberger just getting the shoulder down. He doesn't even drop to his knee, he just reaches down, and that's perfectly placed for the first power play goal on the pair of penalties here. And it only took 13 seconds, so they still have a minute 47 on the second penalty to try and get another one and really get back into this.
You can see the benches. Scotland's up and has a lot more energy than Israel right now. A shorthanded goal here could change the tide back the other way, though. Little draw. Shot comes from Steen, and the save is made by LeBlanc, who's settling in after being hung out to dry for those first 2 opportunities.
He probably felt a lot more settled and comfortable with that shot coming in on him than the ones he'd faced before, where there was no chance to settle.
Scotland down by 3 on the power play. Bamford's up top. Fletcher for Eastwood. Back to Bamford. McAndrew now another bouncer, and it buzzes the tower of Ripberger. Israel slow it down as Wiley runs himself into the corner. Up top, Rady has Baker across the floor from him. Looking to see how much time they can kill. There's about 10 on the shot clock, 50 left in their kill. Rady now, little spin move inside, and that's going to end up on his rear end. Got it back though, little bouncer, ends up in the netting above the glass.
See if they can get Eastwood involved, Scotland, that is, because 6 goals last night, and even on the power play, they're not really generating anything, and it doesn't look to me like Israel is particularly working out to take them away.
Now,
and Israel's got too many guys
Israel
on the floor.
Had 5 on the floor.
Yeah, they just ran everybody out.
Bamford's up top. Now he got the early shot in. Save is made by Ripberger. And on one of those, instead of pulling LeBlanc and making him waste energy, you almost would rather just have him give the ball to the other team. Just take a quick shot.
Yeah, and
get it over with. Get the 5-on-3. And at least now you can run a 4-on-3 set. But now it's down to 13 seconds left on this 5-on-3 opportunity.
And the learning curve, the learning experience here, the teachable moment for Israel is if you have too many men on the floor, don't run off. You're still getting the penalty. Stay there and play defense.
They could get you for an unsportsmanlike as well after that if you don't listen to them.
What do you mean?
If you don't change. If you just keep 5 on the floor and you've already got too many men on the floor.
No, you can stay there. There's no unsportsmanlike if you just stay out.
Saw it on Saturday, Stamper.
Really?
Saw it on Saturday.
Oh, that's a bad call. You don't have to leave. You still got him on the floor. The issue comes if you go to the bench and come back out again.
Fletcher's up top with Holmes. Holmes now. Low to low. Save made by Ripberger. Looked a little close there for Jarrett Rogalski running around the crease. He'll one-arm this down, and it'll be picked up by Bamford, who is waiting in the D zone. Scotland's still in the power play, but Bamford runs it up himself. That might have caught some post as well and ends up in the pad of Ripberger.
I think they must have decided Rogalski didn't get out of the crease in the first place, because I thought there was no question he had both feet landed in the crease as he ran off with the ball.
Scotland possession, little floater up to Fuster. We'll see if Fuster will stay on the power play. He hands it off now, and Eastwood in the corner waits for some help. Scotland only has, well, now they'll get their 5th out there. Very slow change. There's 10 left in the shot clock, and they're all sorts of confused in front of the bench. Fletcher walks into one. Ripberger makes a save as he's falling backwards.
Might have lulled Israel a bit into not paying attention without all the guys on the floor because they didn't get everybody up.
Milnow's another big hit is late. Alex Hall throwing his weight around one more time in the opening half. Milne down for Eastwood. Holmes now steals off some space and he scores. Nolan Eastwood's got his 7th of the tournament and Scotland's down by 2.
Beautiful shot by Eastwood, just coming around the player, using the defender as a screen. And Scotland has got some momentum, really heading in their direction. Using his teammate for the screen as much as the defender. And just finding a little spot. He is deadly when he's got time and space like that to let it rip.
We were wondering why they haven't utilized him a little bit more, but I think 21 minutes into this game, I think they might say, hey, we should probably give the rock to 91 a couple more times.
A little refresher that he's pretty good. Quite dangerous.
Yeah, not bad. 7 goals in 2 games. Still got a lot more of this one to go as Grady Holmes is going to hold on to it. Back to even strength on the floor. Haven't played much even strength this quarter. Holmes to the middle, scores. Grady Holmes cuts the lead in half. It's now 5-4.
Maybe it was a ploy by Scotland to get down because it fires them up. Last night they go down 9-2 against the U.S. Battle back. This one they get themselves down, but they are fired up. Holmes, again, stepping around the defender. Great job to cut up, return direction, and look at that, just past the arm.
And now after this goal here, Scotland only down by 1. Eric LeBlanc is headed to the bench, and Ethan Dalkeith is back between the pipes as Ryan Flaherty's between the benches. What did you hear down there?
Yeah, in fact, actually, as the delayed call was coming before that prior penalty, when LeBlanc ran to the bench, there was actually a conversation then about whether they were going to switch goaltenders. So that looked like a planned switch that Dalkeith was going to come back in. They were just waiting for the opportunity.
We'll see if it works out for him as Fuster. 1-on-1, spin back to the net, and he scores! It's 5 straight goals for Scotland. We're back to even Steven in SaskTel Center.
I mean, Mark Ripberger's going to want to make some saves on some of these, but these are high-quality chances. All of a sudden, Scotland is generating. Look at Fuster just muscles off his man. The defender's gone, and Fuster just ramming that bouncer home. They are going definitely using the turf to their advantage. They're thinking the bouncers are going to really work against Ripberger at this point.
Just tossed Bundy to the ground and ends up burying that one. Scotland, Israel, 5 apiece with 8:25 to go in quarter number 2. Eastwood looking to keep the offense rolling. Zings one over to Milne. Shot got blocked. McAndrew now inside. Save is made by Ripberger. Loose ball on the ground. And Scotland's going to recover for a second. Rogalski all over the forwards. It's on the ground, and Reich has it now.
Yeah, the old saw. Lacrosse is a game of runs. A little ridiculous. 5 one way, then 5 the other.
Reich for Baker inside, and they'll say he stepped in the crease. Fuster back up the floor. He also had trainer McCulloch with him. Fuster fade away, trying to pull this across body, and that's a tough shot to make, but it ends up bouncing into row 5.
Israel needs to get something turned around, and you always want to push the pace, but in this case probably want to take some time and try to run a set and get back into a feeling of rhythm.
Steen inside. His pass got picked up. Steen's going to have to get back as Matt McCarron now one-arm flips one over to Fuster. Fuster now defenders all over him, and he tries to force a shot that ends up wide, but Mason McNeil comes in to save the bacon.
Created a pretty nice chance, but again, a bit of an awkward position by the time he got up the stick up for the shot.
Grady Holmes. Now Eastwood's up on the restraining line. Eastwood to the middle, and it's a good save by Ripberger as he throws up the right arm while sliding. Shot clock got reset. Back to Eastwood, inside feed. And I don't think he got all he wanted on that pass, and Fuster kind of overran it as well for the back post.
Nice play by Steen, though, to get in and just tip it away.
Rogalski Backdoor intended for Cutler, and Justice Cutler now sets up from the half wall. One of those Stu Sturparn type players. He can stay and play, and he's got the green light. Israel only one goal in this quarter. It came from Josh Fonchuk.
Oh, that is a decision that Alfie West would like to have back.
Grady Holmes now. Lost possession, trying to spin away from his defender. Now he's pushed up top. Out of the corner, another low bouncer got thrown on goal from McAndrew. Bounces through the crease though, no reset. Eastwood behind the back, over to Milne, and the sights just aren't set on this shift for Scotland.
Easton Burns wisely just lets the 30 expire, doesn't pick it up. And I was talking, of course, about Alfie West deciding to go behind the back on the run when he had a player wide open ahead of him and gets too fancy.
Jackson Baker. Steen's there, and he'll drive in front. Outside look by Reedy goes over the net. Baker. Man cutting through the middle, and Baker's pass got picked off.
A little hesitation, and that made it behind Hockenstein.
McCulloch still with it, has to avoid an over and back, but he'll run away from Tompkins. J.J. Milne. Brother is Zach. That's who's got it there. Zach Milne trying to go far side. They were beating Ripberger low to the glove, and now they've switched up where they're shooting. Not sure that one was intended for where it ended up, though. Looked like it came out of the stick a little high from the pocket. Josh Fonchuk now one-on-one, scored like this earlier. Won't take the early shot, though, as he zips one over the far side. Steen, Hockenstein up top. Fonchuk can't climb a ladder to catch it cleanly. That pass went off of Zane Fletcher's cage. Almost spun his helmet around. His helmet's undone. He'll stay on and try to put it back together as Fuster grabs it in the corner. Fletcher's going to stay on. He get the buckle done up in time on the fly.
That's not that easy. As you're moving, you're trying to get the helmet, get the fingers up onto the side of the helmet, get that clip that can be hard at the best of times. That's a pretty impressive little maneuver, actually.
Cochran half wall does it on the shot clock. Grady Holmes now trying to pull this one back, and it ends up behind the Scotland bench. Souvenir for a couple of kids running around. Saw a lot of autographs getting signed earlier. They're loving it. Lacrosse back in Saskatoon this summer. Burns waiting for some help. Israel only had 4 on the floor. Now Fonchuk's out there. Reedy scans, drives around one, loses it, trying to get around the second defender. Scotland's tightened up their defense. They started that first quarter, and as you said, they had a bad first quarter against the USA as well. Reedy now on the roll. Keith got his shoulder on it, and Fonchuk missed the loose ball. Fuster. Scotland wants to get a forward out there. It's McAndrew backdoor. Pardon me, that was Milne. And Fuster's pass was over his head. Back the other way, it's a break. Israel all alone, and the shot goes wide by Jackson Weatherby. Inside, big hit late in the middle by Hall. Israel coach Stu Sturparn not happy about that. His group will play on. Tied at 5 here, less than 3 to go in the opening half. Flip down low, Weatherby's got it on the wheel. Up top for Baker. Jackson Baker now to the net, avoids collision with Hall. Shot went wide though, and the shot clock's gonna expire on Israel, whose offense has seemingly gone cold since the Josh Fonchuk marker.
And between Murdoch and Hall, a lot of physical play, a lot of big hits. And you can just sense it, like you said, feeding on itself as the Scotland players. The turnaround was really the physical play, the hits that got them going. That led to the goals to spark this club.
Nolan Eastwood up top. He's got a game-high 3 points. He'll call a play, and Eastwood dishes this one off. Shot from McAndrew got blocked, and with 3 on the shot clock, Wisely dumps it down into the corner.
Ashton Reich, some nice defense up there, and what a story he has. We're going to hear more about him later, but he loved the experience playing for Israel last year at the World Juniors. He went over, did his birthright trip, and just finished. He flew into training camp directly from the Israel Premier Lacrosse League Finals where they won a championship.
Save is made by Dalkeith. Ball ends up in the corner, and Scotland's going to come out with it. They're winning the loose ball battle as well. Their effort has been ramped up once fallen behind 5-0. Haverly. Scotland will slow it down. Grady Holmes with it. Walks in the restraining line, does it on the shot clock. Not a ton of movement on that far side. Now Holmes cuts in, just misses over the stick side. Rebound pops back up in the air, and Angus Murdoch couldn't get a shot on goal. 75 seconds left to go in the quarter. Justice Cutler, backdoor feed, got picked up. Fooster will float one down. St. Fletcher cutting down Main Street. They'll kick it back. Eastwood, fifth forward on the floor. Nolan Eastwood, 7 points last night against USA. He's got 3 already in this opening half. That's who has it crease side, rolling up top. Swings it over to McAndrew inside. Holmes trying to hit Fletcher. Got a shot off, though. Good save. Rebound by Milne, and he's robbed by Ripberger.
What a recovery by Ripberger to keep his eye on the ball. Even if he couldn't get up, he was prepared for where he could get in the way of that rebound shot.
Just over 30 seconds left. Rogalski won't let it go. Fodchuk will, and he keeps that one high. And that's a smart play because those are tough rebounds to control. So now they can use a timeout, and Stu Sturparn can get out the clipboard.
And we could hear Stu Sturparn yelling timeout as that ball was going to be picked up. Israel will take their first half timeout. And what a tale of 2 quarters this has been. 4-0 for Israel after the first, with scoring with 12 seconds left in that first quarter, and then just 18 seconds into the second, they go up 5-0. And since then, again, the physical play sparking some excitement. And we're going to take a look at what that looked like as Scotland gets going. There's the hit from Bamford. Here's one from Murdoch where he actually was the guy being hit and turned it around. Now he gets flattened, but there's a big hit by Hall. And then this one, boom. That is Dick Turl just sending his man Keegan Cochran flying through the air.
Well, Scotland needs one more defensive stand here to close out the opening half. Israel's going to go 6-on-5. Ripberger will be on the bench, and Jackson Baker will start with the rock up top. He's got 2 goals. He had the first 2 goals in the game for Israel, who went up 5-0 and now find themselves in a 5-5 tie here late in quarter number 2. They'll put 16.2 seconds up on the clock, and Baker's going to walk it down to about the 9 or 8 second mark. Hawkins Steen. Now they want to run a play. Steen zips one across the floor. Burns with the quick stick. Won't end up in the back of the net. Israel had a look. It's a good play that was drawn up. They're just unable to capitalize on that. Looks like they'll get a little bit of coaching before halftime as well in front of that Israel bench. Scotland not going down without a fight. 5 unanswered in quarter number 2. It's a physical affair here in SaskTel Center. Fodchuk with an absolute highlight reel beauty. We're off to halftime in SaskTel Center at the World Juniors.
Welcome back to Saskatoon. Halftime of the fourth game here of the IIJL World Junior Championships. And we've got a real barn burner cooking as Israel and Scotland are tied at 5 after 30 minutes of play. Well, as we know, lacrosse is the medicine game. And for the Israel captain, Ashton Reish, health is a big focus for him. Not just his health, but others' health as well. In fact, at the age of just 15, back in 2018, he became the youngest member of the American Cancer Society's Real Men Wear Pink campaign. Now, that's a campaign where people encourage others to wear pink in support of breast cancer awareness and research, and encourage especially men to support that cause. Well, that was back in 2018, and it is still a cause that is very near and dear to Reich's heart still today. It was back in middle school when his mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, the good news for the Reich family, she is now cancer-free. But that is what lit a fire in Ashton Reich, and he wanted to do more to help battle the disease. Well, he started out with the Real Men Wear Pink campaign as a 15-year-old. He's still part of it now, but it's evolving. Now, as he's attending the University of South Carolina, he's starting up a new campaign that involves challenging other schools and other fraternities, especially at schools all around the United States, to raise the most money for breast cancer research. It's all about challenging others to do more, and he is really excited about getting the campaign off the ground. He was telling me before the game he's got a website that's launching soon and a whole bunch of people that are joining him in this campaign as well. It is something that he is obviously very passionate about, and something that he will continue to be passionate about, as he is also looking to get into the field of medicine as a career. So lacrosse, obviously important for the Israel captain, but things outside of the game still hold a very, very important piece of his heart, and he's going to continue that work well into the future. Once again, halftime here in Saskatoon. Israel and Scotland tied at 5. We got more halftime coming up from SaskTel Center.
Signature Lacrosse is the official ball provider of the 2023 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. Visit signaturelacrosse.com. At the half here, it's Cody Jansen, Stephen Stamp, Ryan Flaherty with you live from Saskatoon. 5-5, Scotland, Israel. Did not think we'd be here after that first quarter. 5 unanswered for Scotland, and they're scoring goals in different ways as we get into those first half highlights, Stamp.
Yeah, it starts off, and we're seeing a lot of the physical play because that was such a big part of the game. But they start off with Baker with a couple of goals to get Israel going, and they just keep rolling. They get some transition going. Here is Bundy on the break, and this is a beauty to go across and just find a little spot. And then in what has been the game of the tournament so far, maybe the goal of the tournament thus far, look at Fodchuk with the toe drag and the beautiful snipe up into the top corner. That was gorgeous. And then the physical play really came up. The seas open. For Bamford, he comes and scores, and Scotland is on a roll. They get the bouncers rocking. Eastwood gets his first of the game after the sock trick last night, and then there's Holmes coming around the defender, and Fuster will get the last one to make it a 5-5 game through half the game. And this has been very exciting. It's going to be so interesting to see who can develop momentum because it has swung back and forth.
Now, Dalkeith has played fine, but you got to give credit to Eric LeBlanc for coming in cold in that second quarter, gets beat by Fodchuk, responds with a breakaway save on Rogalski, really levels out the ground, and then he allows his team to get back into it. We saw some great goaltending earlier, though. Poland, Australia, that was the opening game today, and for Poland, they did what they had to do. They got started early, and they didn't let their foot off the pedal.
Again, friendly competition, but it did get more intense. There's the goal for Preston Stewart, who was really dynamite for them, and Australia's going to get one. The first goal of the tournament, Kernaghan just rocketing one, and the Australian players who made the long trip pretty stoked to get on the board. And Koza was absolutely fantastic. You're seeing some of the saves that he made through this game, and he was just ready for everything. You can see the positioning, and then Poland finds a few ways to get through, and they wind up with a 7-2 win. And it was a close game for Australia in terms of fighting back. They just didn't quite have the finish. Australia, very good defense in their first game here, but Poland just a bit too much. And there's William Koza, #1 player of the game, who was outstanding. As you mentioned, great goaltending for Poland.
Stopped 46 out of 48. That will work. And now things get a little bit interesting as we get into the final day of round robin. But for Scotland, if they want to pick up a win here in the round robin, they got to find what they did in the second quarter and implement that for the next two. I'm curious to see what coaching changes they might make, if any, because you're not going to get the power play looks you got in that second quarter.
Exactly. And, again, a bunch of guys coming together. You got to get used to how are you going to work with each other, and can you bounce back from what happened in the second quarter for Israel?
Well, 30 down, 32 go. It's Cody Jansen, Steven Stamp, Ryan Flaherty with you at the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. We're back with third quarter action after the break. Maximum Lacrosse, an official sponsor of the 2023 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. Visit o'neilllacrosse.com for all of your lacrosse goaltending needs and more. Max Lax, one of the best in the business. It's Cody Jansen, Steven Stamp, Ryan Flaherty with you. Israel got out to a hot start, jumped out to a 5-0 lead thanks to a couple of goals from Jackson Baker, rocking #9 in blue. Josh Fodchuk had a blue beauty with wearing number 18. Do you see the number 39 stickers on their helmets and the JP as well? That's for a player we lost last year in Jackson Porter. Tragically this spring, it was a really tough moment for the lacrosse community, especially in the Edmonton area. A player who was loved by teammates, loved by coaches, just a fantastic family, and tragically passed away. Represented Israel at this tournament last year. He was such a good player as well, on the floor, off the floor, an even better kid. And so you see the JP39 stickers out there. It means a lot for the family to be able to see that. I know I'm well connected with the Porters, and they do appreciate the support from the entire lacrosse community.
Yeah, and Jackson Porter wore 13 for Israel, so they have a 13 Jackson Porter jersey hanging on the divider between them and the box between the benches where Ryan Flaherty is, and they have said that they're going to retire number 13 for their Israel Youth Box Lacrosse program. It won't be worn again by anyone other than Jackson Porter. So our thoughts to the family. It's obviously a tragic one, and the memories are still wonderful.
Absolutely. Well said there, Jackson Porter. Gone too soon, but we get to play the medicine game, and it's why we're here for the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. Israel, Scotland, putting on a show on a Tuesday night in SaskTel Center. Both number 5s are at the dot, and we are back underway. Israel opening possession. Haverly up the floor. Reish backdoor to Baker. He wanted a quick stick, and he got run over for those efforts as well. They'll get a shot clock reset, and the offense gets rolling. Fonchuk sets the pick. Baker with a quick shot. He's on hat-trick watch, and he got his own rebound back. Up top for Kush. Now he'll shoot around a screen. Awkward save made by Dalkeith as he's falling. And Scotland is going to have a 2-on-1 if they'll go with it, but Fuster pulls back.
Scotland taking their time to set up, and again, a 5-goal run for Israel, a 5-goal run in response for Scotland.
I don't think we'll see any more 5-goal runs here, at least not 2 in the same half. But I've been wrong once or twice. It's Zane Fletcher. Zips to the middle, down low, intended for Nolan Eastwood. The only Scottish player with a multi-point game going on right now, and he's got a goal and 2 assists. Now he's got a mouthful of boards as well. Was driven in from behind by Connor Chase. And that's one Scotland will take because they got a shot clock reset. And Eastwood gets a one-on-one look. He'll drive in front, diving effort. Penalty is coming. Rittberger made the save, but a slashing call is going to be going up against Israel. And Scotland going back to the power play.
Yeah, Connor Chase just didn't necessarily look like he was ready for that reset as he gets the stick up. And Eastwood, he is a goal scorer. He gets to start very close to the net. He was ready to go. He's taking off as play is blown in, and Chase was immediately behind on the play, and that's when you wind up taking a penalty like that. And now Eastwood, after creating that chance, is going to we'll see if they get him more involved here again, as he is their leading scorer, but he can do even more.
Scotland's got 3 of their 5 on the power play. Had 4 power play opportunities in quarter number 2. Bamford's up top, double pick comes, and the save is made by Rittberger.
They tried the same play as Bamford got a goal on earlier in the game, but this time Israel a little bit tighter defensively on it.
Hockenstein driving down shorthanded. We know the ability he's got, and he can score a shorty if needed. Penalty coming. It'll be 5-on-5 as Rittberger goes to the bench, but they'll blow it down and it's another slashing call. So it'll be 4-on-4 on the floor.
So Israel going to try and take advantage of a power play to get things swinging back in their direction. Later this month, there will be the Minto Cup in Edmonton. I know you're going to be a big part of that. Very exciting. We have 3 teams. We're going to see the penalty right there is the chop. But we know 3 of the teams are in it. The 4th will be either the Orangeville Northmen or the Burlington Blaze. That series is tied 2-2 after a big 8-7 win for Burlington tonight.
4-on-4, plenty of space on the floor. Hockenstein scanning. Now he's going to feed it back to one over to Baker inside, and he scores, but he stepped in the crease. Jackson Baker inches away from giving Israel the lead. Fuster back over to Eastwood. He got hit in, and the ball pops back for Mark Rittberger. Justice Cutler now up the floor. He's got a one-on-one, and Cutler decides to pull back.
And he looked a little surprised again. They had a lane to the net, and by the time he realized, it was a bit too late to take advantage of it.
Kush hooks that bouncer wide, and it rolls back into the Scottish crease where Ethan Dalkeith is standing. Outlet feed for Foster is out of his reach for the time being. Two of them will battle in the corner, and a third comes in. Jarrett Rogalski wins the loose ball battle, and he's already got a goal in the game here, but he's going off for a change as Israel will be on the power play in 16 seconds time. Benjamin Reedy waits for help. Steen, quick shot, and again misses the target as they're trying to pull it near side. Pass over to Fonchuk, goes off of his stick. It's back up top, and the Israel player, instead of playing that one there, Connor Chase decided to stand on his side a half, and a little bit of a mental error.
I wonder if he could have got there. It looked like it would have been tight for him to get there, but have a chance. Take a go at it, right?
I think the answer is yes on that one. Grady Holmes has it now, and Scotland shorthanded, happy to kill some clock. Holmes now does it on the shot clock. Falling, put it on goal, and it's a good stop by Ripberger to keep us tied at 5. Reish in the middle. Fonchuk's off the bench. Good save. Rebound by Baker. Goes over the net, and Fonchuk, wrong side of the road, has the loose ball. Josh Fonchuk behind the net. He's got the athleticism to dunk from back there, too, and the defenders have to be cognizant of that. Jackson Baker, a low-to-low, doesn't miss by much. Rebound, they score. It's Jonas Kush. And Israel is up 6-5.
3 chances recently for Jackson Baker, but it's Kush that gets this one bouncing up to him. You can see the toe drag and the rip that the low-to-low winds up arcing up into the air straight out to Kush, and he will go bouncer to find that spot. And interesting seeing Jackson Baker, who on that glorious chance earlier threw the hands up in celebration, and as they didn't go in, they settled down to his face, his head in his hands, as he couldn't believe he'd missed. And they had a couple more chances, but shooters, you shoot till you're hot, you shoot till when you're not. So he gets going, but it's Kush that puts Israel back in front for the first time since Scotland tied it up.
It's been 19 minutes since their last goal. Yeah. And Israel now, it's going to get called on a 10-second count, so it'll be Scotland possession as they look for an answer. Scotland down by 1. McCarron near side. As help in Zach Milne. Milne to the middle, won't shoot. Kick back for Eastwood. Backdoor feed. It hit Matt McCarron. Couldn't get the one-timer, though, and Israel wants to play with speed. I'm not sure Cutler is going to get to that. Dalkeith won't either. Eastwood actually threw Cutler back into the crease. And between the benches, Ryan Flaherty is standing by for us.
Interesting scene coming out of the half here, guys, as we saw not one but 2 stick checks just before the start of the third quarter, one on either side for Josh Fonchuk and for Angus Murdoch. Now, I'm told that these weren't requested by either team. These were initiated by the officials, and apparently they're doing that sporadically throughout the tournament. So it was just interesting to see both teams a little confused of why sticks were being checked, but both sticks were found to be legal.
Each quarter, I believe, they're checking 2 sticks. Reaches back the other way on a partial break. Good left arm stop there. Ethan Dalkeith is keeping Scotland in this one. Massive stops here in quarter number 3. Reedy kicks it down. Steen's inside and he scores. Hawkins Steen's got his first of the tournament, and it's 7-5 Israel.
The dip and dunk, Hawkins Steen really throwing that fake. He sells this one on the little slip pick. A nice pass through, and then the hard fake far side. Comes back, and remember there was one earlier where he just stepped in the crease, manages to stay out, not touch down until the ball is past the goal line, and we've got a 2-goal run. I agree with it. We won't see a pair of 5-goal runs in this half, but there is yet to be a single goal scored by either team without a run starting.
Israel, another face-off win as Morgan Curry loses another one to Justin Haverly. Kush. Burns over to Baker. Jackson Baker now runs into his teammate, and his shot got blocked as well by Milne. Pushed forward. Cameron Fooster on a break. Fooster all alone. 5-hole save made by Ripberger. Got his own rebound back. Twister on goal. Ripberger makes another save, and it'll be a too many men on the floor call coming against Israel.
It is. What a job by Fooster. Look at, he gets the shot off even with the hard back check pressure from Easton Burns. The second chance probably not quite as good because he was right on top of Ripberger and didn't have much angle and was getting hit, but just a great job by Fooster. We've seen him with some really nice footwork up in the offensive zone as he runs the transition game.
7th power play of the game for Scotland. So Israel, they got to play USA tomorrow. They cannot be sitting in the sin bin like this. So maybe it's good they're getting it out of their system tonight. Bamford's up top. Fletcher and Eastwood are on his left. Holmes is on the right. Fletcher, Bamford over to Eastwood, and he's got 2. Nolan Eastwood on the power play, his 8th of the World Juniors. It's 7-6.
And Eastwood, again, this is way too much time for Israel to give him. I'm sure they watched that game yesterday. Stu Sarpon mentioned they didn't get here as early as they might have liked, but they were here early enough to know that you don't let Eastwood just wind up and crank.
Oh, and Stu is very familiar with Nolan Eastwood. He knows how lethal he can be. And Scotland's got their 4th power play goal of the game, now trailing by 1. McCarron. Back for Milne. Rips one over to Fletcher. Milne, 3 to shoot. Bouncer got stopped. Rebounds in the air. Free game, and it's McCarron who got the rebound on goal, but Mark Ripberger makes the stop. Rogalski pushed back into the corner. Had a stick in his arm there and kind of willingly brought that one up. Steen zips one over. Fodchuk short side. Dalkeith makes a stop.
And there's nobody there for Dalkeith, so he's just going to rip it down the floor and let his guys go after it. But he was looking for some help for an outlet pass.
Mark Ripberger gets it in the crease, and he'll send the outlet over to Eric Tompkins, who ends up losing it as Eastwood again on that back check. The kid can fly, and he's causing turnovers. Nolan Eastwood now. Little feedback door intended for Mason McNeil. Pass was a little low for him, and he kind of got in a little too close to the crease.
Jarrett Rogalski skipping a bit as he seems to have just got dinged on the leg as he was coming forward.
He's one of those players who's played a lot of lacrosse over the past 7 days, is Jarrett Rogalski. Rady. Defended by Fooster. Fodchuk trying to go far side this time. He loves to go short side high. Opts not to on this opportunity. Behind the net, it'll be Kush who is stripped of the ball. And Israel has to get back on defense here. Look for a second, like Scotland wanted to play with a little bit more pace. Tough to do that in quarters 1 and 3. 2 and 4, you can definitely get a jump, especially if the other team's not changing quickly. Zach Milne now. Pick got set. Trying to run all the way to the middle. 5-hole attempt. Ripberger says no. Up to Bundy. He's already got 1 in the game. Tompkins getting an offensive shift here. Steen's with him. Inside feed, and Steen swings at the pass. Fodchuk now. His pass got deflected. Steen in the corner picks it up, one hand, and now with less than 10 on the shot clock, he'll slow it down on the restraining line. Trying to place that far side. Fodchuk got it back. Shot clock's going to expire, and Morgan Curry ate that one as the buzzer was going.
Fodchuk really starting to look dangerous for the, I mean, he had the one gorgeous play, but he seems to be getting into a bit of a rhythm and groove and getting some good chances here in the second half.
Bamford. Push back, and he finds Fletcher. Fletcher with the shot. Trying to shoot around the netminder. They give him a reset and he scores. Zane Fletcher sweeps the turf. We're tying at 7.
I wonder if Fletcher knew there was a reset, because I'm not sure that's a shot you often take from the restraining line. He might have thought they had to get a shot off quickly. Oh no, he just liked the lane he had. Bounces one. And that is a heck of a shot. Boy, the long-range bouncers have been really going in this tournament.
Fletcher and Nolan Eastwood connect on the high five as well after the fact. Fletcher's got 3 points in the game. It's his first goal in the contest as well. It's an unassisted one, so he's slowly catching up to Nolan Eastwood. Fletcher, first goal of the tournament, 6 point.
And this happens 2-goal runs.
It's a game of runs. Inside feed, Baker ended up hitting Weatherby, who bounced it wide, and Scotland trying to force that one up for Fuster. Ends up back in the Israel zone. Ashton Reich as Fuster hearing it from the bench. Now it's Fonchuk again. Little extra hop in his step, trying to feed it inside for Jackson Baker. And Dalkeith caught it with the left hand. McCarron in the neutral zone. Rogalski back on the floor. The legs must be fine. Down for Zach Milton. Defended by Justice Cutler. Eastwood kicks this one out and he sets a pick. Now up top, another bouncer is going to go wide by McCarron. Second left on the shot clock. Eastwood tries it behind the back, and it's more of a dump into the corner.
4 minutes to go here in the third, and what a difference half with just the 4 goals here in this quarter. But well, I guess there were only 4 in the first quarter as well. Just more evenly balanced back and forth.
Hockenstein scans the floor. Fonchuk up top. Tompkins now. He was looking to go stick side on Dalkeith. Won't get the reset either, and Scotland might have a break back the other way. Good defense there by Ariel Soler. Camille. And Fletcher's got to break off the restart. Fletcher for his second, and he's stopped by Ripberger. Holmes now. Holmes is inside. Trying to pick that top shelf, and it's wide of the target. Now Nolan Eastwood zips one back for Fletcher. Scotland's feeling it. They're playing backyard ball right now. Passes over to McNeil. Bobbled it. Has it with the shot clock dying on him. Bouncer seemed to catch Mark Ripberger off guard a little bit there as he slid down to his knees. No harm, no foul. And Israel heads north. Kirsch down for Reedy. Third righty out on the floor, and Hockenstein. Kirsch has got one. Reedy's out in front, and Dalkeith with the left pad robs him.
It was a crease violation anyway, but he didn't know that when he made that save, and that is a beautiful stop by Dalkeith, who had a little rest, but has been really good since he came back into this game.
I'll count it even if it doesn't end up on the shot clock. Zach Milton now over to Eastwood. Eastwood around Bundy. Wants another pick. That one's going to go off the leg of an Israel defender as Matt McCarron let a low-to-low go. Eastwood off the reset. Trying to throw that into the middle, and then it's overrun by Caleb McAndrew. Back on the carpet. Eastwood into help. Milton's taken down. He's not happy about it, but Israel winning the loose ball battle again here. They'll need some offensive possessions the way Ethan Dalkeith is playing for Scotland, because he's kicking between the pipes. Kirsch inside. Steen got stopped. Rebound. Israel won't get an opportunity at it.
Angus Murdoch for Scotland, number 44. Physical again. And here's going to be a penalty, though.
Connor Mooney got tripped up. Now he's going to punch it over to Holmes. Are they going to call a 10 count, or was it blown down for another call? I believe they're just going to call it a 10 count on Scotland. I go into another power play. 8th of the game with $1:29 to go, quarter number 3.
The tripping call on Hawkenstein as he'll go off, and Bamford's going to set up on the top before the power play again. And boy, you just, like you said, you just can't keep giving Scotland these opportunities, let alone tomorrow night when they're going to be facing the U.S.
Jack Bamford's up top. He's got one on the power play. Holmes is on the right. McAndrews on the righty crease spot too. It's over to Holmes, took the shot. Ripberger didn't bite, although there was a passing lane as Zane Fletcher was cutting towards the back post. Rogalski got away from Eastwood's back check. Israel not afraid to go short-handed as Easton Burns kicks it back. You know, Stu Sturparn wants to play with pace at all times, and 10 on the shot clock. He's giving his guys the green light. Reedy now drives. Dalkeith with the save, and he lands on him. Sometimes those can be a little more dangerous, though, but good to see everyone get up quickly.
Not huge contact in the back, which was a good call by the Scottish defender because it didn't force him too hard into his goaltender.
Holmes has Bamford up top. Fletcher and Eastwood on the side. Bamford. Eastwood for the hat trick. He got stopped. Holmes. Reset comes. 20 seconds left to go in the quarter. Short side. They score. Caleb McAndrew tucks it in the closet. And it's 8-7 Scotland.
Another power play goal for the Scots. And Ripberger gets some of this one, but there's a whole lot behind this shot. This is a nice angle, as you can see. It just gets under the leg as low shot. Ripberger getting the leg pad down on it, but it just scoots under. A little touch of it, but not enough to keep it from going into the corner.
At some point, if you're Scotland, you're just shaking your head and saying, why are we sitting in the sin bin so much? Back the other way, quick response. It's Justin Haverly off the face-off. Knotted back up at 8.
Israel falls behind for the first time in the game with 18 seconds to go in the third quarter. It took them just 6 seconds to get the response, with Haverly, the face-off guy, calling his own number.
Haverly with the marker, his first of the World Juniors in Saskatoon. Israel back even at 8, and they want some more. Haverly up. Dalkeith has it. Stretch pass. Almost got to Holmes. Fooster's got to shoot this one. Couple steps in. Ripberger makes the save as Fooster wanted to respond. We could have got 3 goals in the last 20 seconds of this one. Wild 45 minutes, and we got a thrilling fourth quarter coming your way next. 8-8 is the score in Sarstel Center. It's the 2023 IIJL World Juniors on TSN+. BioSteel is the official drink of the 2023 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. Down between the benches, it's Ryan Flaherty for Sutton.
Here with Scotland assistant coach Johnny Shaw. You guys fell down early again here tonight, but you've managed to battle back, and you're in a tie game here heading to the fourth. What do you credit that resilience here tonight?
It's just the mentality of the team. You know, we've got a strong group of players, and they know their responsibilities and their roles. We're executing it right now, and we're just going to try and get to the end of this game, play hard, fast lacrosse, the Scotland lacrosse way, and we should be okay.
Yeah, what's going to be the key here to get your first ever win here at this event here over the last 15 minutes?
Going to have to take smart shots, be a wee bit more tighter on D, watch our the backside and defense as well, and be a wee bit more precious with the ball going forward.
All right, thanks for this.
Thank you.
Guys.
STX is the official glove provider of Canada and the Canadian Lacrosse League. Visit stx.com today. 8-8 is the score. Israel and Scotland in Sastel Center. Nolan Eastwood, phenomenal all tournament long, and tonight is no exception. 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points.
I mean, yesterday he was just outstanding. Tonight he has had to pick and choose his spots a little bit more, but you can see whenever he gets an opportunity, he is so dangerous, and he loves those sidearms and underhands. And he just, again, Israel's got to take away that time and space.
Not for Matt Bowes. I would say that's a front runner for MVP of the tournament early on. And just remember, Eastwood's only got 1 year of juniors under his belt so far. There's players born in 2003 in this tournament. Foster up the floor. You heard it from the coaches. They say, hey, we got to be taking some smart shots. We can't be wasting these opportunities. As Eastwood zips one over. Got it back, does it on the ticker. Zane Fletcher, he got his first goal of the tournament in quarter number 3. Milne up top. Bamford, one to shoot. Tumbles to the ground and he misses the mark. Rogalski, a little bit of speed, zips this one and it's picked off by McCulloch. Good stick by the defender, able to pick off that pass, because if not, Eric Tompkins was cruising towards the back post. Settled by Cochran. Grady Holmes. Floats one down for Milne. Milne inside. Holmes on the twister, scores! Roll the highlight reel. Grady Holmes puts Scotland up 9-8.
This is a thing of beauty. Holmes taking the pass right on top of the crease. So many things happening. You've got to make the catch. You've got to stay out of the crease. You've got to get the twister going and find your spot. And that is all happening within a split second. Look at the toes just outside the crease. The hard twister. And that, I don't know, that might just be goal of the tournament. The Fodchuk one was great. That one's up there with it.
Oh, there'll be a lot more goals there, Stamper. We won't
so
jump
far.
the gun yet. I'd agree with that. But Foster back the other way. Scotland, a lot more jump here in quarter number 4. Looking for more. It's Holmes, and he's stopped by Rittberger. Behind the net, Milne. Holmes has to spin away. Help up top in the form of Nolan Eastwood. McAndrews far side. Fletcher now around an Eastwood pick. McAndrew now. Holmes knocked his defender down. They'll call it clean. And now Rittberger's going to toss this up the floor. Break the other way. It's Wiley. Save made by Dalkeith. Got it right in the pads.
Looking for Tompkins, who's the first guy off the bench regularly now here in the fourth for Israel, but decided to take that shot. Good decision.
Eastwood wants to drive. He's on hat-trick watch. 11 points in the tournament. Still got another quarter to go in his round-robin performance. Bamford on goal. Rittberger makes a save. Played junior A out in Burnaby this past season.
Bundy doesn't have anybody to give the ball to, as they're all kind of standing in deep. Finally, Burns comes out to give him a target.
Burns had Fodchuk on the high cross there as well. Ball got tipped on goal. Dalkeith made the save. And now the defender's going to have to run for his life, and Angus Murdoch. Murdoch's up the floor. Man back door. Will he pass it? He will not. And he doesn't get the twister off either as Ethan Dick-Turrell.
He wanted to make that pass. I don't think he ever thought he had a lane to get it through, and it wound up being a bit late to get the shot off and kind of having to really twister it up. Maybe not the shot for him.
I think Morgan Curry was certainly calling for it, but maybe you can't just run yourself in a straight line. You got to open yourself away from the defender. And sometimes you run yourself out of a lane when you just want to drive towards the crease. Back the other way. Matthew Bundy on a break. Bundy now, twister. Save is made by Dalkeith as he's got it in the scoop.
Great speed by Bundy, who scored a transition goal earlier. He is looking a little shaken up as he landed, fell a bit awkwardly, and he is laying down on the bench immediately.
I think it's a cramping issue, the way his legs being lifted there. Eastwood now. Rogalski's on him. Eastwood driving out in front, and he scores! Nolan Eastwood hat trick, and Scotland's up 10-8.
Looked like he worked harder on the turf swipe as he makes it look so easy, cutting in from the corner. Just a little overzealousness defensively. What a job to stay out of the crease. You can't be chasing Rogalski out there.
Very close
Very
on the
close.
crease there.
Very close.
Heck of a play by Nolan Eastwood. This kid can ball. 3 in the game, 9 in the tournament. And yes, that's correct. We're only on day 2. Reedy's in the corner. Baker's up top. Jackson Baker now wants to respond. It's off the post. Behind Dalkeith. Won't cross the line.
It's not a 5-0 run, but Scotland is on a 5-1 run.
Stretch pass there, and it's a little behind Milne, but they will give Israel possession. Between the benches, Ryan Flaherty standing by.
Yeah, real contrast right now between the two benches. Scotland up, vocal, encouraging their teammates on every single play. And there it is again, another goal. They just keep on going. The Israel bench, they're not hanging their heads, but they are a lot quieter right now.
Zane Fletcher has his second of the game, second of the tournament as well, and Scotland absolutely cruising. They're up 11-8.
The patience by Fletcher on this. Look at as he scoops up this ball, doesn't shoot there, doesn't shoot there. That last fake as Ripper trying to recover, coming across and kind of gradually falling, and Fletcher just lets him. And that's a big goal, and Scotland really on a run here.
Haverly up the middle, and he scores. Just like how he tied it up at 8, it's Justin Haverly with his second of the game. Runs it in after the face-off, and Israel down by 2.
Haverly just driving hard to the net and shoots on the off step. I'm not sure if Dalkeith thought this was coming because the defenders are running out, and Haverly looked like he was kind of between strides, but a great job to get the quick release when he saw he had a little spot down in that far right corner. Last year, that was the Yakney corner as Josh Yakney buried goal after goal right down there. And he's not here. He's actually going to be playing in the Founders Cup with the Port Coquitlam Saints shortly, so he's not with them this year.
Baker's pass got picked off. Another one intercepted by trainer McCulloch. And now, too many on the floor. Is Scotland a little lackadaisical by the bench? They'll point and plead their case, but you'll need a better lawyer for that. Scotland going to be shorthanded with 10:04 to go in quarter number 4.
A big chance for Israel, as they have, you mentioned, taken a lot of penalties in the game. Now they're going to have a chance to set things up on the power play, and the momentum has been largely with Scotland because they've got all those goals, and the only 2 goals for Israel lately have been the 2 by Haverly.
Israel 1 for 3 on the power play. McNeil was going to serve it, and now they'll send over Alex Hall. So Jackson Baker's up top on the power play, has the lone power play goal for Israel in this contest. He's got 2 in total. Baker now back to the middle, got tripped up there as he tripped on Fuster. Back over to Burns, quick stick, and he's robbed. Dalkeith robbery on the backdoor quick stick. Fuster happily holds on to it. He'll eat the remaining 15 seconds if he can here, as they're shorthanded for another 90. Mason McNeil's in the corner, and Scotland sending out their D guys quick. Outside look, Ripberger got it with the left pad. A bit of an awkward save as the rebound fell at his 5-hole. And Justice Cutler is going to work it up the floor. Beats the 10-second count, and the power play will continue. Baker's back up top. Fodchuk's on his right. Hawkins-Steen for Rady. Now it's Baker again. Step down, trying to go high to the stick side. Ball's in the crease, and Burns gets it back. Hits Fodchuk, far side. He shoots it over the goal. Rebound, Steen, and that's about 5 feet wide as well. Israel getting their looks. The shots are nothing short of wild, though. Nolan Eastwood's got 3 goals, 5 points in this game. Thought they might try throw him out there short-handed. See if they can draw up something. Only up by 2, not a comfortable position with over 8 minutes left to go in regulation. Caleb McAndrew, second on the shot clock, rolls it down into the corner, and there's 10 seconds left in the Scotland penalty kill. Jarrett Rogalski over to Josh Fodchuk. Fodchuk's got 1-1 in the game. Back check from Hall. Fodchuk zips it over. Steen back to Baker, short side. And that's another good stop by Ethan Dalkeith, moving right to left. Baker now blocked it and scores. Josh Fodchuk capitalizes after the Jackson Baker knockdown pass, and it's a 1-goal game.
Fodchuk, Johnny on the spot. Baker's had so many chances and just hasn't been finishing the way he left. He got the first couple, but then the outlet pass, it's tipped by Baker, and that really leads to the chance for Fodchuk.
You see the two of them celebrate. Special to be on the same team in this tournament. Getting to talk to them beforehand, they are nothing short of excited to be here in Saskatoon this week. Baker now with Fodchuk. Baker trying to drive, one arm on his stick. He got knocked in by Fuster.
What an effort to bowl to the net and use his strength to get a shot off. Didn't score, but great chance to try to tie it up.
Fuster cutting inside. Ripberger moving to his left. Calmly makes the stop. Justice Cutler for Fodchuk. Long shift for him. Over to Steen. He's inside and he scores. Level ground again. It's 11-11 in SaskTel Center.
Hawkins-Steen, the late addition to the roster, he was just able to arrive for the game fairly late in the afternoon. Wasn't at their shoot-around today, but he is fitting in pretty nicely with his drive to the net. A couple of really lovely goals. That's just a great touch shot to find the little 5-hole spot. We're all tied up once again. This has been a great game, and we've got 7:09 more to go.
Game of the tournament so far. It's the nightcap on Tuesday in Saskatoon. Hall steps in on the face-off on Haverly, and the two of them will go for a tumble on the turf. Back the other way, opportunity for Israel. Bouncer by Dick Turrell goes wide. Back the other way, Scotland's gonna have a break. It's J.J. Milne, robbed by Mark Ripberger.
Dick Turrell providing some work on defense on the back check, but what an effort by Milne to fight through that and get a really good chance.
Oh, Fodchuk got it back, and he rips it off the side of the post and out of play after dropping that pass. A little one-handed scoop and spin. If he capitalizes on that, human highlight reel, I tell you. Inside feed, one hand on his stick, and Eric Tompkins couldn't put it on Dalkeith cleanly. McCulloch into Israel territory. Ball was on the turf for a second. He'll scoop it back to Zach Milne, who cuts back to the proper side of the floor. McNeil has Eastwood up top. decides to shoot it. 5 on the shot clock, and he puts it right in the logo of Mark Rittberger.
It was very close to a 10-second count with the leisurely stroll forward by Reedy.
Fodchuk, 1-on-3. One arm pass out in front. He had a man, pops back though, and the shot is going to roll on goal. Dalkeith made the save as it was Kirsch who had his shot kind of deflected there. Out of the corner again, Israel possession, and they score. Honkenstein, back-to-back goals. It's 12-11 Israel.
Steen heating up. Fights through this check from Fooster. He is loving the shots down by the feet of Ethan Dalkeith. And Israel has crept back in front in what has been a real thriller of a match.
Well, he fell behind 11-8, and that's an uncomfortable spot to be in. But now, 4 unanswered has flipped the script, and they're up by 1 with 5:23 left to go. Holmes, they've got numbers, and he puts it right in the chest protector of Rittberger. Back the other way, it's Rogalski looking for his second of the game. Jarrett Rogalski on a break, stopped by Dalkeith, and he can't grab the rebound, although it was sitting out there for a second.
That was the Connor McGee pounce onto the loose ball off the save to avoid that rebound being scooped up with the lurking Israeli player right there.
Zane Fletcher gives way for Nolan Eastwood. Bamford put it on goal. The Israel goalie said no, and the outlet has Cutler. Tompkins backdoor. Cutler took the shot, and the rebound again sits in the crease for the Scottish netminder. McCarron. Call is coming against Israel here. Scotland's power play's been dangerous, but an over and back will be called. Dalkeith gets to the bench. Too many men on the floor is the call as Scotland goes to the man advantage.
Still 4:19 to go, so because it's not under 2 minutes, not yet time for penalty shot in that circumstance. And goalies must hate that when they hustle to the bench and play is blown down on the delayed call just as they get there. The sprint for absolutely no benefit. But good work by their team, by his teammates to force the to get that over and back forth, or by Israel to force the over and back.
Scotland led in this game by Nolan Eastwood with 5 points. Zane Fletcher has 4. Grady Holmes and Jack Bamford have 3. Bamford's up top on the power play. Right of him is Holmes and McAndrew. Fletcher and Eastwood near side on your TV screen. Bamford back for Holmes. Hard pick got set by McAndrew. The ref says you can't do that, and they'll give Israel the ball.
Weatherby still looking a little shaken up as he got flattened on that one and kind of almost snapped in half, enough to make him drop his stick on the way to the bench.
Cutler escapes a double team for a second. They'll pounce back on him in the corner. As Trainer McCulloch's in there. Cutler got free though. Out in front for Burns, and he scores! A shorty for Israel. Easton Burns puts him up by 2.
Great finish by Burns, but what an effort by Justice Cutler. I was thinking he had overhandled it. He might have needed to move this ball because he was so buried there, but he gets out of it, frees himself from the double team. The third defender comes over, and Curry with a lovely little touch pass at the perfect moment to the perfect spot, and Eastern Burns takes advantage, and that is a huge shorthanded goal.
Justice Cutler, the big 05 born lefty, drags 3 defenders towards him, but he's able to flip that over to Easton Burns, who makes no mistake in Israel. Up by 2, but still shorthanded for the next minute 17. That'll help eat some clock as Jarrett Rogalski can go for a bit of a jog on the restraining line. Israel coaches want them to slow it down. It's their first game of the tournament. They got USA tomorrow. Steen got a lot behind it, but it ends up behind the back of the net. And so for Scotland, 45 seconds left on this power play. Chances almost now or never to equalize. 3 to go in regulation. Israel, Scotland, giving us the game of the tournament so far. Bamford, Holmes, Fletcher, Eastwood. Bamford down to Eastwood, quick stick. It was at the head of Ripberger. Bamford walks in. His shot went off a defender, and the shot clock's going to expire.
Nice block by Corbin Wiley, getting his stick on that. And now running it up over center.
Eastwood with the little spinning slash goes uncalled. Seen him do it a fair amount. Wiley and him will have words in front. 2:20 to go. Israel back to full strength. Chases out of the sin bin. Tompkins now trying to force his way through. Goes off the back of the defender, and McCarron. And Fooster up the floor. 2 to play. Scotland down by 2. Looking for their first win ever at the World Juniors here. Israel, they went 2-3 last year, finishing in 4th after a bronze medal game loss to the Americans. Eastwood inside, puts it off the logo of Ripberger. Penalty upcoming against Scotland, and this could spell the end of the game for him. Flip back to Cutler, ball ends up on the turf, and Fooster touches up.
Bundy, a great play by his own crease to get out of trouble. And he has had a good night in transition as well. Bundy with a goal and an assist, another really good chance, but that play probably as big as any. You'll see right here that Bundy just fights through this hard forecheck, including a stick up to the face that is the penalty, and gets through and creates a chance at the other end. But as it doesn't come to fruition, instead, it'll be a power play opportunity.
Cross-checking the coconut for Mason McNeil, and he's in the sand bin for what could be the rest of the game, barring a power play goal here for Israel. They're only 1 for 4 on the man advantage. It's a little surprising with the talent they have on the floor. Just haven't been passing the ball as well as they'd like, and that comes with time and experience at this tournament. Where Jackson Baker up top on the power play, I'm sure when we talk about him on Friday or Saturday, it'll be looking like a different player. Pass behind Fodchuk, ends up on the turf again, 1 to shoot. Trying to pull it short side, bounces it out of play. Nolan Eastwood. Little cutback step. Fletcher's up top. Doesn't miss by much as he almost went glove side. Eastwood kept it in play. There's 5 on the shot clock. Fletcher to the middle on the roll, and Ripberger hops on that in a hockey-style butterfly. Hockenstein has it now, 20 on the shot clock, 25 seconds left to go, so they'll probably run this one back, dump it in the corner, and call it a game. Josh Fodchuk up top, he's got it as, well, they'll try to get one on goal. It's more so going to leave a bruise on Morgan Curry as he's the unlucky soul who gets to block that shot. Couple seconds left. Fooster won't have time to fire, and Israel picks up their first win. They move to 1-0. Scotland falls to 0-2. 13-11 your final score as Mark Ripberger has his first win of the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. Stamp, I think we can all speak for everyone in this building when we thought this could be getting away from Israel. They were down 11-8 at one point. How did they find a way to come back?
You know, just sticking with it again. You said staying out of the penalty box more, being a little bit more disciplined, but also I think Hockenstein stepping up with the tying goal and then the game winner, the 11th and 12th goals for them, and a real team effort. So many guys. I mean, you look down the Israel roster and see all the players who had such big contributions. I mean, besides Steen, Josh Fodchuk was great, Jackson Baker. I think that Justin Haverly with those 2 huge goals off the face-offs. You've got the big play by Cutler to set up that one big goal, and I thought Bundy as well. Matthew Bundy was really good with a goal and an assist, and again, the big play at the end to fight out of trouble.
Well, we'll get handshakes, player of the game, and anthems, and more. Ryan Flaherty is between the benches with us all week long. Ryan, I'm curious because I want to go back in time. When it was 11-8 for Scotland, you got a front row view of Stu Sturparn. He's a very animated head coach. I know dang well you could hear him. What was set to turn the tide?
You know what? I don't think it was anything specific. I think it was just that a bit of a quiet comment. I mentioned that the Israel bench was a little quieter than Scotland at that point, but it wasn't a quietness born out of negativity. I think it was just a quiet confidence that even the fact that they were down by 3 goals, they didn't feel like they were out of the game. And Stu just keeping his troops calm, and they were able to battle back. And a little bit of a theme, I think, coming back was the fatigue factor as well. Not as much as last night for Scotland, but it felt like facing another fast team here tonight. They maybe slowed down just a half step over that final 5-6 minutes.
IIJL President Chris Fox is on the floor for our player of the game announcements.
So players of the game for Scotland, number 3, Zane Fletcher.
Zane Fletcher, 4 points, is Scotland's player of the game.
Congratulations. And then for Israel, number 7, Håkan Steen.
No-brainer there. He had the hat trick and 4 points. Håkan Steen shows up on Rush Turf, and without him, Israel probably has a tick in the loss column here.
For sure. A couple of huge goals, the nice touch late in the game. Interesting, that what Ryan was talking about was he kept telling us Scotland's all fired up. Their bench is stoked. Their bench is lively. And Israel on the other side was quietly confident.
We'll step aside for the national anthem. Israel has their first win at the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. Mark Ripberger makes 42 saves. You get 4-point performances from Håkan Steen and Josh Vodchuk in a 13-11 win. For myself, Cody Jansen, Steven Stamp, Ryan Flaherty, the entire crew. So long. We'll talk to you tomorrow back in Saskatoon.